Predetermined Tornado Team Review. So this is a team review for Predetermined Tornado's Maddening run. This is a general Maddening run. I don't know that this is the first Maddening run that they've done, but maybe it's like the second or third or something. But this is a general Maddening run. I don't think there's DLC, and we do have a cool new thing where I can control the Chloe. We can put a different backdrop for these, so instead of it just being like screenshots in Discord, we actually have like Engage running and some stuff. All right, so we have some pretty interesting builds here. We have an Allure Sage, so right out of the gate, a Speed Taker Sage. 40 magic is decent. That's enough, especially with Bulg, to kill most things, if not all things. The stats are pretty good. Dex of 35 is reasonably good, especially with Marth. You're not missing most things. You have good accuracy. There's no real combo between Micaiah and Sage necessarily for like mystical, as far as I know, but like for like emblem abilities and stuff. But you have, you know, magic increase from equipping Micaiah. You can use Nos if you want it. You gain staff rank, which is nice. So Cleric ++ gives you a staff rank, which allows you to fortify. So in this case, it looks like the Allure is Fortify, Unfortify, Recover, main weapons Bulg, Speed Taker to get to 41 speed. The Dex is more than good enough to hit. You have Spell Harmony and Divinely Inspiring, which can be applied to other things. So you have some decent things going on here that are kind of cool. It's funny that this is like, it has enough damage to kill, so it's viable for sure. Veil Leaf. So this one was kind of crazy too. This has Axe Power 5, so it's a Warrior Veil. Now Veil's strength, definitely decent. I don't think she's like the highest strength, but she's like probably in the top 10, I want to say, maybe. Her strength stat is decent. I think her bases are just really good. Now, in this case, it's a Brave Axe build with 32 strength and Axe Power 5 with Speed Taker. So it definitely will kill. The Radiant Bow? The Radiant Bow is interesting because Veil does have really good magic similar to Anna, and she also has really good speed, relatively speaking. So she's speed capped. She's a lot of caps. She's res capped, speed capped, dex, and magic capped. So you can Radiant Bow for magic damage, Brave Axe to kill with physical, Longbow poke, and then of course Hurricane Axe. Now the Hurricane Axe I guess would just really be used for enemy phasing at one range, if that's ever something that comes up off of Vantage. I don't think the Vantage is really mattering here. I suppose you could use her Vantage, but I think it's just like a nuke build. And it's level 20 Leaf, which you get health, you get build, you get defense, and maybe you're just not engaging on Leaf here. I don't know. But maybe just use it for the build and the stats. That's probably how I'd be using this. You could probably go for some Leaf stuff, but Adaptable can hurt you in a lot of cases, because then you start switching into like Killer Axe and Master Lance and Lightbrand, and in this case it'll probably... it might kill your damage. Lightbrand actually is not bad here because it has decent might, and Veil is a magical unit, so for other characters who have bad magic, Lightbrand does kill their damage, but in this case you kind of can leverage all the weapons, which is interesting. Not to the point where it's gonna like hard carry, but this will kill things that attacks and probably survive a hit or two. Woohoo! Alright, then we have Seedall. So Shielding Art, this is very standard on him. So Cancer plus, Quality Time plus. This is really good. The Holy Stance plus is interesting too, so if he does get hit, he flips some damage back. That's kind of cool. But Quality Time plus, Cancer plus, and your Dancer is always really good. He can Echo to teleport near other allies, which is something that's kind of neat. The stats don't really matter. Recover he could do if he wants to. He could just dance a staff unit too, but mostly this just looks like a standard dancer. That's kind of cool. All right, then we have a Chloe. We have the General Chloe. Yes, we're all about it. General Chloe, Brave Lance, Spear +3, 32 strength. Brave Lance is interesting. I don't know why. I mean, you could kill with it, I suppose. It's only player phase though, that's why I don't really care for it as much. Because this could be an enemy phase nuke on top of a player phase nuke. But the General Chloe meme has now become part of some people's main thing. Like Lynn gives you, so Chloe is 20 speed, speed +5 gives you speed +5, and then equipping Lyn gives you speed +5, and then Speed Taker gives you speed +10, so you can get to like 40 speed easily. The Brave Lance is reducing the speed here, otherwise you can easily hit like 40 plus speed on this build. In this case, you hit 39, which is still enough. You can Mulajir, you have better strength because you're on General, and you have better build because you're on General. But you could run other weapons that deal pretty good damage. This will one round. I've tested this build. It's surprisingly good. Anna, Byleth, Hero. Anna, Hero. Interesting. Interesting. I've never seen an Anna Hero before. It doesn't look bad either. 11 build is good. That's a weightless Levin sword, actually. Without any... Now the magic stat is much worse. Luck +4. So they're leaning into the passive. So 42 luck. All right, so this is like high Anna passives for like huge luck. For, you know, triggering passive. So sword power 3, luck +4. The speed is 38 at base, which is not bad. Byleth does give you some speed and magic. 24 luck though, with Levin sword. I feel like that's on the lower side, but with sword power, that will kill. Like, you'd be surprised. I think 20 luck or 20 magic with sword power 5 can, with Levin sword, can typically kill. So Levin sword is what, 13, and then +5 is 18. I think it's 1 might per rank. So the damage is not bad. It actually will kill a lot of things. If it was sword power 4 or sword power 5, it would kill more things. But this looks like a budget Brave Assist bot that can attack things for last hit and also goddess dances. And I don't remember what backup bonus is. I think it's like strength +4 for instruct and goddess dance. So if there's strength units, that can be decent. But this is interesting. It doesn't have bad stats. The Brave Sword probably isn't killing, but it is sword power 3. So Brave Sword's 3 with 20 strength might kill some things, but probably not most. All right, then with Amber, an Amber Martial Master. I wonder if there's a reason behind this, or if this is just because it's funny. Amber Martial Master. So he can get early tome or early staff access, and then I think he needs to get fists from Byleth, because I don't think you can get fists from anything else early unless you're running DLC. So quality time plus, staff mastery 5, shielding art Makai engraving with a flashing fist, and then mend, recovery, or recover, and then fortify. So, oh, and it's a bonded shield. So it's a bonded shield. It's a bonded shield unit. Okay. Is there? Hold on. He has like some. I'm assuming he's a guy. He has some things here. This is by far the stupidest build I've forced myself to use. Support Amber. Used for bonded shield and healing, occasionally finishing off enemies with Parthia. Yeah, you'd have to like create this after you get Byleth, I guess. This is kind of random. All right, let's go to the Rosado. All right, so we have a Rosado Berserker. The Goat Rosado, as if this build isn't insane already. Divine Speed made it that much more goofy. All right, so Speed Taker, Axe Power. So the speed actually isn't bad, and with Speed Taker, even before Marth, you can hit really good speeds. The Dex is terrible. It's being slightly hit fixed on Leaf. It's a Brave Axe build. Stunning Smile gives what? Evade minus, avoid minus 20 to things males you're attacking, I think. So it hit fixes versus males. Speed Taker, Axe Power, Brave Axe with that strength will kill most things, if not all things. Maybe just not armors. It might even kill armors though. 39 strength is quite a bit. And then of course Divine Speed and break defenses. So if you break, you get 2 more attacks on the Brave, like another set of 2. And then if you Divine Speed, you get a 50%, another set of 2. So this is an interesting build. It's crazy how many like units are so high level in this run, but it's pretty decent. It's just like, and also it's a Berserker, which is funny. I think it'd be better off as Warrior, but for someone's got to run Berserker, I guess. Jean and Corin Sniper. Jean Sniper. Speed Taker, speed +5. Okay. Lendabear Killer Bow +5, so it's a crit build. It's a crit build without Wrath. What's the crit rate on this thing? So the luck is okay. The dex is 42. That's a lot of crit rate just from that, actually. That's surprisingly high. Dex 42. Sniper Jean builds speed stacking and lets him double, roll for crits, along with doubling for more consistently on Radiant Bow. Okay. So he's like a Radiant Bow. I mean, Radiant Bow is a good weapon. It'll kill like armors and flyers pretty consistently. And then Killer Bow can just go for crits randomly. It looks like the crit rate here is probably like 30 to 50, depending on enemy luck. So it's decent. It is a 2-range only class, kind of. With Corrin, you can pull out Yato and whack things for decent damage, which this is an underutilized weapon. No longbow though on Corrin. Not that you need it. I mean, if you're playing normally, you don't really need to have it, but it's nice to have just to snap freeze at 3 range if you want it. All right, Zelkov and Erica. Zelkov Halberdier, 35 strength, 36 dex, 26 speed. So we don't care about speed because we're going for pincers. Brave Lance with Brionac. So Brave Lance was the main weapon because you don't get Brionac until super late. Resistance +3. I've never seen anyone run that. That's very. These are some spicy builds. Resistance +3. I have to read. Zelkov was absolute beast, able to kill generals consistently. I didn't know what to do with his second skill, so I gave him res +3. Make him more tanky with gentility. Oh, I see. Okay, that's kind of making more sense now. So the gentility, right? So it's an Erica unit. Oh, let me make sure I didn't ignore that.
Wait.
All right, that Corrin. All right, so it's an Erica unit. I was so distracted by the resistance +3, I didn't notice it. Erica. It's an Erica unit that is using a brave weapon. Erica plus brave weapon, if you quad, when you have bond level 20, will generally kill anything it attacks, including generals. So Lance Power 4 may be redundant here. You probably could run Speed Plus, but you don't need it because you're a Halberdier, so I guess you can really do whatever you want here. And also, of course, you can just pull out Sieglin, which is corrupted effective, and that plus Lunar Brace and Gentility is going to kill everything you attack anyways. So Erica just allows you to, anything that doubles will kill with Erica, like almost guaranteed. But this is an interesting build. The res +3 that does kind of make sense with Gentility to improve tanking. If he had extra SP, he could have run Resolve, which is a little bit stronger for tanking, but it doesn't seem like he needs it. Linden Royal Knights. Okay, so that actually kind of makes some sense. Flame Lance, Holdout Wrath. That actually, this kind of makes sense. Now, could you do this on Levin Sword? Yes. it'd be basically the same thing on like a Mage Knight, but the fact that it's on Flame Lance. Dumb Linden crit build I came up with as Shower Thought. Holdouts. Lets me easily build up Wrath, because you usually get one-shotted without it. Sometimes use him as a healer. This is very funny. The crazier thing is, though, is your crit +30 on Corrin Engraving, your crit +20 from Weapon Insight, and then you're up to crit +30 with Wrath. So you easily hit like base 100 crit before factoring in Dex versus enemy luck. Because Dex, I think it's like half of Dex adds as crit. So if you're 20 Dex, you're +10 crit. I think it's half. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's half. But this is a pretty funny and interesting build. This could be used with Levin Sword too, but you don't really need to crit. If you're using Levin Sword, you don't need to crit to kill with it. You just need sword power or like damage fixing, like slight damage fixing. But it's very funny. The crit, that's pretty base actually, I have to admit. Etier Roy, Swordmaster. Oh yeah, what did he say? I don't get why you're hung up on keeping Etier Sniper and calling her B tier when you can reclass her to Swordmaster and watch her performance skyrocket. Alright, so 12 speed. Alright, obviously she's on Georgios right now. Oh, what did he actually say about this? Let's see. Raw attack monster, not a crit fisher. She's one round KO monster for vast majority of the game. Didn't feed her any energy drops nor speed wings. What are her stats on this though? I don't even know. Cause the 12 speed, Georgios plus Roy is super heavy, right? So like, It looks like she's just going for like double, like just the first hit of Brave Sword, single hitting on these weapons. Looks like just a one-shot build. Sword power, strength +2. The best thing about it too is, why is she a sword master? It doesn't even, I'm not, this is not criticism. Most of these are meme builds, all right? These are meme builds on purpose. This wasn't like, you don't trip into accidentally making Etier a Giorgio Swordmaster. That's not something that happens. It's just funny because it's like, you could easily have put her on like general, or because like with this Giorgios, she is getting hit twice, so she might as well just be a general for the increased strength. But it's just funny that she's a Swordmaster for no reason at all. And then there's strength +2, sword power 5, Roy, which gives 6 strength, engaging on Roy, which probably gives her +4 strength. And you're just looking at like insane strength from sword, like pumped into a Swordmaster, not even leveraging like the class, like at all. Like like she's a Swordmaster for no reason. That's why it's funny. But this would one-shot things. It's very funny. But yeah, reclass her into Swordmaster, watch her performance skyrocket, as they say. All right, and then finally we have Kagetsu Ike, Great Knight, Gentility, Vantage ++, Allied Defense. So Killer Axe, Silver Blade +3. So I think the Silver Blade was like the main weapon outside of the Killer Axe. Now Gentility Plus with Engage gives you +5 damage. It also makes you tankier. Allied Defense also stacks directly with it, allowing you to be -8 damage, which is actually really good. Vantage is interesting. He's on Ike as well. So you get Resolve. And the defense is 41. And the res is 15. So then when you factor in Resolve and Gentility, you're really 27 res, and then with Allied Defense, you're 30 res. And then with the with your defense value, you're basically not taking damage. So this is an interesting build. All right, let me see what he says about this. This build was awkward to use in all honesty. He did pull some very clutch crits on player phase. Saved me from idiotic decisions several times. As you can tell, my idea was to use him as a Vantage Wrath. Great Aether Silver Blade tank. He did pretty well. All right, so Silver Blade Vantage ++ tank. Do you even need to do that? I think you don't. I think with this build, your defense is so high, you can probably just eat the hits. Because you're not going to be silver blading mages, right? They're going to be hitting you at 2 range. So the Vantage and the Silver Blade are irrelevant here. You're not fighting at 2 range. Honestly, you're better off with a build like this, just letting them hit you and not even caring about Vantage at all, and just replacing it with something else. Maybe even sword power. Now the thing that's crazy though, you're not going for crits at all here. Killer Axe +5 with no engraving. The other thing too is like you're probably better off just going for crits on Killer Axe. I think the issue with this build, the tanking is overkill for sure. Gentility plus, Resolve plus, and Allied Defense. That's like, you really just need, you could drop Vantage for sure, and you could probably move him onto a different class. He's probably better off just being a general here. Now you do lose mobility by being a general, but if you're just gonna sit in a position and just whack things with a Silver Blade, you might as well just be a general, because then you get a little bit more defense and you get more strength, which the real reason you'd want that is for the strength, to push up your one-shot potential. Because if you're relying on Wrath to kill, you're basically just bad Tamara now, because Tamara can do this exact same thing, and she just also gets like sandstorms on top of Wrath, so her probability of like proccing is just more reliable. But for this, if I wanted to min-max the Silver Blade hits, +5ing it with this many units is just not reasonable. So I can understand why it's just +3. And obviously +5ing silver is expensive, so +3ing it makes sense. But the weapon is probably fine. I would move him on to general. I would replace Vantage with like sword power 2, maybe sword power 3 if you can afford it. I think Vantage plus is quite expensive. I think it's like 2 to 3k. So you could probably just run him on sword power 2 for a little bit more damage. It's plus 4 damage a hit. You could try to leverage the crits, like putting him on Ike is probably fine. Now the nice thing about Great Knight is 26 speed means you're not getting doubled as much, but if you're on Gentility plus, Ike, and Resolve plus, you're not really getting damaged. You're hitting like 50 plus defense and things are dealing almost nothing to you, so you don't really have to worry about damage unless you're getting hit by magic, which in that case, this is like, I don't think this can be pushed very far because it just doesn't 2-range. And there are Ike builds that can consistently or semi-consistently kill at both 1 and 2 range by themselves. So like overall, it's a pretty funny idea. I see what you're going for, and Hietsu does have high enough strength to try to do this. What's the actual attack on Silver Blade +3 with that? It probably one-shots most things. I would imagine it doesn't one-shot like armors though, and it's also ineffective at 2 range. So it's basically super. Now you could also Great Aether with the Silver Blade so that every like so often you can get a Great Aether off to kill 2 ranges and then tank, because Great Aether gives you, I think, defense and res +5, right? So it gives you more defensive stats. So that in that way it's good. But for just like sitting out with like Ike popped, you don't even need Ike popped here. Just between Resolve plus and Gentility plus, that's usually enough to tank like 3 to 4 things without Ike engaged, which is kind of nice. I only know this because I've run Erica builds that do this, where I unlocked Resolve as a passive. But yeah, this is like pretty decent. It's pretty funny. Overall, some interesting units. Definitely some different things here. Veil Warrior, I don't think I've seen. Lloyd General, I have seen, of course. Anna Hero, I've never seen. Amber Martial Master is very funny. Rosado Berserker. We have some Berserker representation. The Sniper. Halberdier Zelkov is pretty based. And then, of course, the Crit Man himself. We have to let Lyndon cook. But that's it for this one. Thank you for checking this out. If you want to have your team reviewed, I do have channel memberships, which also gets you emotes and stuff for the streams I do. But I review people's teams that are channel members. But I think Predetermined Tornado also has a YouTube channel, so I'll put a link to his channel in the description. If he does, I'm pretty sure he does. And thank you for checking this out, and I'll see you next one. Peace.